For people who are tired of the frenetic pace in Orlando, just 31 miles north is the little town of Mount Dora. We went up there recently, parked in a parking garage, and began what for us would be a wonderful 2-hour exploration of this little town. We set ourselves a timer and off we went. Our first stop was the Lakeside Inn, built in 1883, the longest continuously occupied hotel in Florida. We had breakfast in their wonderful dining room, soaring views of the gardens, beautiful sight, good food, and best of all, maybe our server, Floyd, warm personality, great guy to talk to. Mid and I do these outings, we usually try to find something that's a little different. This is not certainly an out-of-the-way place, but the Lakeside Inn, having been here for so many years, is certainly something that's well preserved and a beautiful setting to be in. We like that. We don't tend to go toward chain restaurants when we go out to dinner. We tend to look for the out-of-the-way place, especially mom and pop kind of operations. How is your scramble there?
Very filling, very good. The vegetables are not overdone. It's wonderful.
The Blueberry Festival is going. We're a little surprised when we came into the dining room this morning, and Floyd, our server, just told us, well, that's because almost all the people coming for breakfast are having breakfast out on the front porch. We'll go out there and have a look pretty soon. Has wonderful views of the lake. Well, we burned almost half an hour at breakfast, but off we'll go to our next site. We have about an hour and a half left to discover what's in this town. That is, if nothing gets us sidetracked. So many sights here.
I don't know if we'll be able to make our 2-hour time limit. We keep running into these wonderful folks, charming people, lovely little shops, many things to see. So we may not make it. We may go over a little.
We might go over a bit, but let's go up and see if we can find the chamber and maybe get some insights on what we ought to be seeing in Mount Dora today. It's a town that is well worth visiting after the hustle and bustle of a visit to Disney World and the Orlando area with all of its excitement and movement. Mount Dora is where you want to go to escape some of that. We talked to Chamber Director Rachel O'Ryan to find out what's going on. If somebody comes into Mount Dora from New York or Orlando or Tarpon Springs, Florida, what should be their first stop? The chamber to get the information?
Welcome Center. And that's what we like people to do. We're open 7 days a week because we want people to come and get information from us.
Well, Mid, we appear to have found a nice little town here. What do you think?
It's almost like out of a fairy tale. It is such a cute little town. They've done an excellent job of bringing the old houses up to charm. It's just really a charming little town.
What's surprising to me, I think, is the number of people who are here today for the Blueberry Festival, and yet there's not a sense of crowd or rush. It still feels like a little bit like old Florida, even with all the people in town.
It really does. And we found this little quiet place on the lake. It was just a beautiful view. The lake is really still and nice today.
Mount Dora offers many ways to decompress. We talked to Dana Roca, a local business owner, about some of the things that she has observed in her many, many years of living in Mount Dora. Dana, we're in our first visit to Mount Dora, and it's a delight. Why do people find this little town so intriguing?
Well, it is a historic town, and it's very much like a New England town. So if you go and you look at the architecture, it was founded back in the 1800s. So you'll see a lot of historical buildings. It sits on the lake, and we are one of the higher elevations in Florida at 184 feet.
My goodness, you're almost the Himalayan mountains for Florida.
That's why we're Mount Dora, yes.
And we see so many big, beautiful homes. Was this a stop off for people from the north in the 1800s, or what causes all the architecture?
Well, so when it was founded, it was primarily the lakes, and they used to have a ferry that would go from Tavares over to Mount Dora.
You're only 30 miles or so from Disney World. I would think a lot of people get burnt out on the crowds at Disney World and come to Mount Dora.
Well, a lot of people come to to Mount Dora, day trips and also weekend trips. So we have a historic train depot. The Chamber of Commerce is down there. So if you stop down there, you'll get to see the historic train depot, and they can give you a lot more information on the history of all the commerce.
Do you get a lot of visitors out from Orlando?
We do. We get a lot of visitors from everywhere. So that's what it's a great destination place to come on the weekend. We have a
You sound awfully enthusiastic about Mount Dora.
Well, I love living here. I just love the overall, the culture, the people. It's a small town feel, but yet you're right outside of Orlando. So you've got access to the airport between the Orlando International, Sanford Airport. We're, halfway in between both coasts. So it's just a wonderful place to live. I know I raised my family here, so we really like it.
And a wonderful variety of restaurants. What's your favorite in town?
So we've got Goblin Market is a wonderful one that's down. We've got Frog and Monkey with burgers. We've got Fifth Avenue Streetery up on Highland. So in addition to downtown Mount Dora, if you go up Fifth Street to Highland, they call that Uptown. Wonderful brewery, Eden Abbey.
We may not be sampling those wonderful restaurants this time. We only have a half hour. The lights of this little town is the Mount Dora Lighthouse, situated on a little peninsula in a park just a stone's throw from downtown. It's the only freshwater lighthouse in the state of Florida, delightfully restored and set in a beautiful area full of wildlife, water sports, and trees. It's worth a visit to Mount Dora just for this lighthouse. Well, that's our day in Mount Dora, Florida. The Blueberry Festival, the Farmers Market, a wonderful breakfast in a beautiful setting, friendly people, streets closed off, a real sense of party and festival in this little town. It's one that we can recommend. This is a place that's certainly worth a day if you're tired of the crowds at Orlando and Disney World and Legoland and all of the tourist places. This is a tourist town, but it's a friendly little tourist town with lots and lots to see. A wonderful waterfront, a beautiful lighthouse. We recommend a trip 31 miles north of Orlando to Mount Dora, Florida. Well, we made it with 11 seconds to spare. Come back and see us soon. Don't forget, like and subscribe.
Oh man, I'm right